Sure. So an audiogram um, is usually it's a single image, in its most basic form. It's a single image with a moving waveform animation, and it's a video file, but it consists of those two things with a podcast clip or a audio clip underneath. So I think most people, I would imagine, have probably seen similar things online on their Twitter feeds or on Instagram or Facebook, where you see a clip from one of your favorite podcasts or radio shows, and it's just kind of like a simple way to get audio online and make it visually appealing.
Do you want to earn more? Work less and enjoy what you do each day. It's no secret, it can be done. This podcast with Dr. T will not only educate and inspire you, it will also teach you how to do more and be more with the time you already have. It will be like a shot of adrenaline straight into the heart of your business. Here is your host, Tyson Franklin.
Hi, I'm Tyson Franklin, and welcome to this week's episode of It's No Secret with Dr. T. This show is brought to you by me. My book, It's No Secret, There's Money in Small Business. And I think there are no secrets in small business. You just need to keep your ears open. And today, you're going to learn some absolute gems, or you're going to learn about a program or an app, I'm not quite sure how we describe it, that I think will change your business if you use it the right way. Now, my guest is Oliver Wellington, and he has a program, or he's a co-founder of Headliner, which helps you create audiograms. Oliver, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, Dr. T.
I'm looking forward to this because I have been a user of Headliner, your product, creating audiograms pretty much from the inception, pretty early on, from January this year. And
I think, you started in the first week, so I would say you can't start much earlier unless you were in the offices with us. So,
and I can't remember. I think I came across it. I'd heard something about audiograms, putting videos and audio together. And so I just started searching online. I think yours popped up. There was a number of them that I went and had a look through, and I went and looked at each of the programs, and yours just seemed to be the easiest to use.
Yeah. And I want to mention, so we started out, it's just about a year. It'll be just a year in mid-December, working on Headliner and the audiogram tool. And since then in audiogram, like you're saying, makes it super easy to take audio and turn it into video to promote on social media. And since then we've actually released other kind of, we call them wizards within Headliner. And one of them lets you add captions to video. So you can actually just bring a video in, add captions that are a little bigger and more styled than what you might get with the default stuff on YouTube. And then a thing that we're working on right now will actually take any blog post or article and turn that into a video too. So we're kind of adding in all types of ways to repurpose content for video into Headliner. But like you're mentioning, most people using it are podcasters and radio people. So definitely been an exciting year, and looking forward to keep growing it.
Okay, so you said you could take a blog post and turn that into an audiogram. Is that a written blog post or an audio blog post?
It's actually so you could turn it into a video, like a straight-on video, and so it's like a written post. It'll kind of summarize the text and pull keywords out and match those keywords to images and video, and then kind of lay those out into a video project. And most people kind of go through and make some edits and then kind of export it. So all types of stuff. I mean, we're kind of just trying to make Headliner the best way to create video for your social media accounts.
Can you explain to people what an audiogram is? So if somebody's listening to this and they're going, what are they talking about? I have no idea what an audiogram is. Can you just give a bit of a rundown? What is an audiogram?
Sure. So an audiogram is usually it's a single image, in its most basic form. It's a single image with a moving waveform animation. And it's a video file, but it consists of those two things with a podcast clip or an audio clip underneath. So I think most people, I would imagine, have probably seen similar things online on their Twitter feeds or on Instagram or Facebook, where you see a clip from one of your favorite podcasts or radio shows, and it's just kind of like a simple way to get audio online and make it visually appealing.
I've seen a lot come through on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. But not just podcasters and say radio, but even business people can create their own audio files and put it together with a picture and quite easily put that on their website and other social media pages.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can use it as if you have any sort of audio clip for an audiogram. I mean, any sort of audio can be turned into an audiogram. I think like for us, we think about audiograms as one thing that is super useful and easy to do, but you can also do full-on videos that just have kind of a narration underneath. You can add in, like we have images from Getty within Headliner that are free for anyone to use, and we have stock video and stock images, and we actually also even have GIFs or GIFs. I'm not sure which to call it, GIFs or GIFs, but,
I
but
know.
you can, yeah, right. And do you have a particular stance on that issue?
I call it a GIF.
All right, then it's going to be a GIF for the purposes of It's No Secret with Dr. T right now. It's a GIF. So you can actually search from within Headliner for GIFs and add them in too if you want. So we're just going to keep kind of adding stuff to Headliner to make it more useful for all types of social videos. And I think it's been most useful for podcasting and radio for sure. Because audio, as you know, you can't just post your audio to social media.
No, and one thing I want to point out before you go any further is it is absolutely free. There are no. This is not something you go in, you get a crappy version, and you use the crappy version for a bit until you get a little bit hooked, and then you've got to pay extra money to get all the good stuff. Everything you're talking about is absolutely free at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. And so everyone, I mean, our website kind of like will hit you over the head with the fact that it's free because people don't believe us. They think we're crazy, but we're not like selling data. People think, oh, you're selling our data because it's free, but that's not true. We're not doing any of that. The way we make money, I think it's probably worth pointing out, is that we have some very large kind of like enterprise companies we work with, and for them, we'll build like a custom version of Headliner that is the exact workflow they need, and it brings in specific image sources for them, and they pay us like a normal kind of monthly fee for that. And then the other way we're starting to make money is through the marketplace, which is basically a way people can pay a small amount of money to have us have audiograms created for them. So maybe you can make them on your own and it's easy enough, but you want to make more, and so anywhere from $1 to $10 per video, you can go on to headliner.app/marketplace and put an order in, and we'll make them for you.
No, but that was something I was talking to you about just before I press record, that I've been using it since January, and I mess around with all the features and I've been playing around with things, but I was away for a couple of weeks, and over that period of time while I was away, I didn't get time to actually do any audiograms. And then I saw the marketplace and I went, wow, I should have just sent the audio to you guys with the photos. So here, can you just put these together for me, send them back to me, and then upload it, which would have been a lot easier. So if people don't want to do it themselves, they can pay you like $1 to $10. Is not a lot of money to actually get it done.
No. Yeah. So far it's been pretty good. It's pretty easy. It's fun. And I think like over time, it'll all, I think we'll be able to kind of like even make more advanced style videos even at that kind of price level. That's really what we're trying to do, is like how good of a video can we make for a really small amount of money that anyone could afford.
Even when I was first using it, I'm going, there's got to be a catch here somewhere. I was so skeptical. I'm on there going, there's got to be a catch. They're going to try and grab me somehow, and it just never happened, which is why I've got you on the show, because I've been so impressed. I've been so impressed with the program and the simplicity of using it and where I've used it. And I mentioned before that I was using it for, my wife has a shoe shop called Walk Right Footwear. May as well give her a plug. And I was doing a presentation, and I was trying to explain to people, other business people, how easy it is just to take an image. And I took an image of a shoe, and then I had my wife, I hooked up a microphone and said, here, read this script that we wrote. It was 40 seconds. We put the two things together. It got transcribed, and it took me probably 10 to 15 minutes to do it all. And then we put that on Facebook, I think. Spent $5, and actually no, we put it on Facebook, didn't spend anything. The idea was to spend nothing, and in the first 24 hours it had over 250 views. That wouldn't have happened, and then people actually purchased that shoe. So that's how good this program is.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think like right now too, like you're seeing like the fact that like video is the main thing that the social media platforms are going to that they want to promote too. So if you publish video, I mean, I'm pretty sure that their algorithms are going to be promoting that video more. There's like a lot of stats out there that try to like, that tell you all these things, but I think like kind of crazy numbers are thrown around sometimes, so I'm not going to quote them, but I definitely think it's true that the video stuff does a lot better than the non-video stuff on social.
Well, especially when it's like I like videos that are transcribed, because a lot of times you'll come across a video and you're sitting in an area where you don't have headphones with you, and you're sitting in an area where you can't have the video blaring to be able to hear it. So I sometimes you'll be sitting there just watching a video and just reading the text on the bottom, and that is so much easier. So I think it's something people should be doing more often, and video is really popular.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, like there is one stat I'll share. Like from Neiman Labs did a study in 2016, and their stat that they put out was that 85% of Facebook videos are watched with the sound off, which I believe, because I mean, like just what you described and what I do, like I don't often watch videos with the sound on because of the times that you're actually watching them. It's not always an appropriate time to have the sound on. So when you think about podcasting, where it's inherently a audio based medium, like you can't just necessarily throw up the audio in a waveform. You probably need to have those captions in there to make sure that people can read the stuff you're saying and get engaged and want to go check out the podcast.
And there was one thing I saw recently on your website, and you were using like animation where you did a bit of a test where you had the transcribing in like bold text in the middle of the picture, then you had it down the bottom, and then you had it where it was animated where the words were lighting up as they were talking, compared to not having it there. And do you want to share those results?
Sure. So yeah, we do a number of tests, and in that one, what was interesting was that the animated text where they light up as the person's talking actually performed worse than the large, bold, unanimated text. And so I thought that was kind of surprising, and I don't exactly know why that happened, but my only guess is that kind of people kind of might read at their own pace and just not want to, if you're reading it and you're not listening to it, right, then you might want to just read it at your own speed and not be prompted to read at the speed of the rate at which people are talking, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and when I looked at your test, I went onto your website and read through the whole article that you wrote up, and then watched the 4 videos as you gave the explanation. And I found with the things lighting up, I felt like it was karaoke, because you're so used to that happening with a karaoke machine. So I'm reading it, but I'm not reading it at my pace. It was sort of like I'm having to read it, and then they would pause and go, hang on, I want to keep reading then. And I found it actually a little bit annoying with the letters lighting up.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't start trying to sing along, right?
I probably did. That's probably what the problem was. I was singing along with it instead of just reading it.
Yeah, and that's kind of an example where it's like, like we put that in because people asked us to put it in, and that's kind of how Headliner's been built, is through feedback from people using it. And so if I think that's a good example of something where it, like, we thought it kind of looked cool, but we didn't know what it would do. And then the reality of it is just what you're saying. It's like, it's in there and you can use it, but at the end of the day, like, the actual reader experience, it might not actually serve that, right? It's kind of like hindering people, and it goes, I think people probably talk a little bit faster than you might want to read, or vice versa. So yeah, totally.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. So I just want to tell people, if you want to go and check out Headliner, just go online and just look up Headliner, HEADLINER.app, APP, and that's where you'll find it. So not only are you doing audiograms, but you can also do, I noticed that you can do full-length videos on your site as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could do all types of videos. I mean, people use it for, like, kind of like you mentioned with the shoe shop, like people do it for marketing videos as well now. They use it to do like the blog post and articles for social media. And you can do, I mean, it has a full featured video editor in there. So a surprising actually group that's using it, like a overall group that's using it that we didn't ever expect, is schools are using it in the classroom. Because you can use Headliner from a Chromebook, right? So it's like, if you want to teach someone how to edit video, instead of getting all this expensive software and an expensive computer to run the software, you could actually just access Headliner from the simplest of laptops and be able to edit video, and all the all the content's right there, so you can pull in clips and play around with it and do all that stuff. So it's been really cool kind of seeing what happens when you give the world something to use and they start using it.
So competitor wise, are there a lot of competitors in the market that you sort of look at and you see what they're doing and you go, oh, that's something different? Or do you just play your own game, you don't focus on your competitors too much?
There's only one company I focus on, and that's Adobe. Because
Okay.
I feel like, I mean, they're like a huge company, right? They've been around since the early 90s.
Yeah, I have heard
they're
of
kind
them,
of like,
yeah.
yeah. I'm sure other people have heard of them too. I think, what are they worth? Like $127 billion?
Yeah,
I
well,
don't
we're
know.
actually recording on Adobe Audition, so yeah, we've
Yeah,
heard of them.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So that's what I focus on. Like, they're the best ones out there, and I mean, why not? To me, it makes sense. Like, let's focus on the best market leaders and figure out, like, what can we do better because we're starting now? Because, like, we aren't starting so long ago, and we have kind of the benefits of building from the ground up our editor in 2018. What are things that we can do better than they can do? And it sounds crazy, right? Because they're a huge company, but I think there are things that we can do better. I mean, because you could make audiograms in After Effects, right? But it takes a long time and it's difficult. With us, you can do it in just a couple of minutes online from any old laptop, you know?
Oh, it's simple. That's what I liked about it when I first came across it. I just followed the instructions. Like, my daughter's 14, and I don't think I do. If I just showed her the program and said do a video or create an audiogram, she would probably do it straight away, because it's a step-by-step process. Put your picture here, put in your MP3 audio here. And I think if anyone's listening to this, the only thing you need to do is have a good picture of, if it's a product or if it was an interview or someone that you were doing, record some good audio, and then go to the program and just put the two things together. So there is, with audiograms on Headliner, it goes up to 10 minutes, but do many people actually do 10-minute audiograms, or is there like, most of mine are always 60 seconds or under. Rarely will I go over 60 seconds unless the message is important.
Yeah, no, most people don't do up to 10 minutes. I think, like, that is just the limit we kind of have based on the tech capabilities of Headliner. Like, basically, like, over 10 minutes gets hard to support all the different media that would exist in the browser. But yeah, we're talking like 30 seconds to a minute and a half, are most videos. And then we have another thing in there called full episode, that basically allows you to create an audiogram up to 2 hours long for YouTube. So people use that if they want to post their episode to YouTube. It's like a quick, easy way to do that.
Okay, so it'd be like if we were recording the video of our conversation now, then you could just take that whole image and then put it into Headliner, get it transcribed, and then put that onto your YouTube.
Basically, yeah. Actually, the full episode one we actually don't do the transcription for, because it would be like a 2 hour long podcast. It would be kind of, I mean, because we pay, we do our transcription is all Google, right?
Yeah.
We've kind of like honed it a little bit for our purposes, but yeah. And then, so also YouTube will do the transcription for you as well, which is kind of the same. It's the same Google transcription, right? So, but yeah, it's just the same. It's a moving waveform, an image, and up to 2 hours. And then we actually do it at HD quality, frame rate, and resolution and all that stuff. So it's like, it'll look good on YouTube, even though it's a single image and all that.
Yeah.
It'll still look good.
Okay,
Yeah.
and one of the other parts on there, it said that if you want a video transcript, you can upload just the video that you've already done, and it will transcribe it. Is that up to a certain time limit?
That is actually, the limit is actually it's 200 megabytes. The time limit isn't there though. So if you had a longer video, but as long as it's up to 200 megabytes, it'll work.
Okay.
In the video transcriber tool.
So what's next? Where are you taking this? I know you've started the marketplace where you can do audiograms for people if they're time poor, and I'm starting to get time poor, even though I really enjoy putting them together myself. But there's times where I think it'd be great to get somebody to do them for me. What's next? Where are you planning on taking this?
So we're kind of like, we kind of feel like we've gotten to a great spot in the podcasting and radio community, and we're going to continue building out features to support that. But we kind of see the future for us is around the, like you mentioned, this marketplace.
Yeah.
But also working on converting text to video, so that people can take any blog post or article and make sure that it gets the attention it needs on social media.
And that's available
So
now, the text to video?
it's actually in beta. So if anyone out there emails me, info@headliner.app or oliver@headliner.app, both of them, pretty much I mean, we're an 8-person company, right? So you could pretty much email any combination of anything and I can get that email. But it's in beta, but it'll probably be out soon. So by the time this airs, it'll probably be live in Headliner.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm really interested to actually see how that works. So pretty much someone can write a blog, put it into Headliner, and Headliner will convert that blog into a short video for the whole length of the blog, or will it do an adapted cut down version?
It'll do like an adapted summarization, because we think about this in terms of social stuff, right? And so
Yeah.
roughly 1,000 words is 1,000. Sorry, not 1,000 words. 1,000 characters is around roughly a minute video.
Okay.
So if on social, just like you're saying, like you want to do 1, maybe 2 minute long things, right, at the most. So we're kind of trying to get everything honed in so that it'll fit on social. But it'll depend on the platform too, right? Like for Facebook, I think you might want up to 3 minutes for certain reasons. But we'll kind of be adjusting, and that's the kind of cool thing about Headliner is that we are building it. Like we push new features to it every week. So what's there today will be improved upon tomorrow. And if people say, hey, we want this feature or that feature, and it's for audio or it's for blog post or whatever it is for, like we're there to kind of keep prioritizing and keep building that stuff out.
I will watch a video, say up to 60 seconds, if they're just, to me, if they don't capture my attention really quick and just get it over and done with, I'm out of there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's huge. Like the shorter is better, and a lot of other things that's interesting is a lot of video usage is going towards stories, right? Like on Instagram, Facebook, Snap. So it's like there you're talking like 10, 15 seconds, which is really short. Yeah, so we've been kind of thinking about a product that would like cut up parts of your podcast for stories, so you could basically turn your podcast into an Instagram story, or
So when you do the text to video, is there going to be a voice component over the top, or it's purely just going to be the text running across the screen and the people are sort of reading it?
There's something we're working on that's going to hopefully make a little bit of a splash that will allow you to have a voiceover component automatically added to the text.
But do you provide like royalty-free music or background sound that people can add to their videos as well? I've never really looked because I've got my own background music that I'm usually using. I've never searched for it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like I hear that a lot. Like someone that's got an established podcast with all their artwork and their music figured out. Like they have their own stuff going and they don't need it. But for the other people that want to experiment or still kind of like figuring out what they're going to be doing, we actually do have the ability to, it's all free within Headliner. You can pull in background music and images and video and all that kind of stuff. So you could almost design your own audiogram. All you'd need to start is with the audio. You just bring your audio and then everything else is available within Headliner. Imagery, the ability to add different types of text design and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I reckon anyone, if you've just jumped into someone's car and you're listening to this, we're talking to Oliver Wellington from Headliner, which is a program that creates audiograms, putting a video and audio together and making something that looks damn good for your social media or for your website. So I reckon if you have never used it, go to headliner.app, just jump on there and just play around with it. The thing is, you can't break it. You really can't stuff it up. And that's what I like right from the start, because I tend to stuff things up a lot right at the beginning, and I like it when I can't break things.
Yeah. No, that's great.
I didn't save my first few projects. Oh, that's the other part I'll point out too, that every project that you create, you can actually save it. So there's a big list of videos that are there, but then if you don't want to save them, you don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, basically what it does is, it'll save everything automatically, and then you can just delete the things you don't want, which is kind of nice, because you know how it is if you, like, forget to save something,
Or you accidentally delete something. I've done that before too. And so that's why I recommend people just jump on there, grab any image, record something, put it together, and just play around, and then use the transcription and see what happens. And I'll point out, the transcription is not 100% every single time. You do have to get in there and tidy it up a little bit. and it understands Americans much easier than it understands Australians. I don't know why.
And then one thing I should mention, and this is something that people don't notice, that I don't know if you actually, this is a good question. Do you, when you do your transcript, you can actually change the transcription language. You know, it says English United States, and it's not super clear, but you can actually scroll down and choose English Australia.
Oh no, I haven't done that. So, and these are the type of things that you're constantly adding all the time.
Yeah, totally. We actually have a like a public, it's a Trello board, a public roadmap where people can put in feedback that they have for Headliner and vote on the next features we're going to build. And the link to that is just too, it's too confusing to say, but if anyone's interested, they could just shoot me an email, and I could send them info on that.
And your email is info@headliner.app or oliver@headliner.app, or like you said before, you could put anything. You could put
anything.
You could put horse nipples at headliner.app, and it's probably still going to come through to you.
Yeah, I think the catch-all would pick that up, and I would probably get it.
Yeah. It'll come directly to you, not to anybody else on the team. They go, this one looks like an email for Oliver.
Yeah. If they see horse nipples, they know where to send it.
I don't know how that popped into my head. It was just I don't even have a horse, so I don't know why that even popped into my head.
I mean, do you have any horse nipples? I don't know. Just the nipples, right?
There might be. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I was looking at this plant outside and they've got horse nipples. Anyway, back on track. So you were saying that you're going to be sponsoring the Australian Podcast Awards this year, or Headliner is going to be sponsoring.
Yeah. So the Australian Podcast Awards, we're based in New York City, but a lot of people using Headliner are in Australia. So I was talking to the founder of Australian Podcast Awards, and it seemed like a fun thing to try this year. Is we're sponsoring a new category called Best Audiogram. So if anyone wants to, submit to that and try and win the prize, I think the prize is still being figured out, but it'll be something awesome. A
horse trophy.
I think we'll probably do. Yeah, it'll be a bunch of golden horse nipples or something. So that'll be something. If you have a podcast and you want to do it, I think it's just Australian Podcast Awards. Let me just look up the URL. AustralianPodcastAwards.com. So that's something we're pretty excited about, and I think it'll be kind of fun to see what people come up with for their audiograms.
And some people, is it going to be they have to use your platform to do the audiogram, or they can use any platform to do the audiogram? How's it being judged that way?
They can use whatever they want to do it. I mean, we'll kind of encourage them to use us because I guess we're sponsoring, so of course, but it's not like required. It's not the best Headliner made audiogram category. It's just the best audiogram. So someone can win that made it on another platform. That would be fine.
Yeah, and I've seen some great audiograms that I've seen them and gone, wow, that is pretty cool, and it's helped me adapt what I do myself.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go into like Adobe After Effects and spend a couple hours making a really fancy audiogram, you can do that for sure. But I like to think that it's easier to just do it in about 3 minutes in Headliner. But
it's better to just get it out there. There was Adam Franklin, Paul Wright, a few people I've had on the show, and they've all said the same thing. Done is better than perfect. What I've found using Headliner myself is I've gotten better. Every time I've used it, I've gotten better. I've gotten faster. I'm more game to push different buttons that I wasn't sure about at the beginning. And until you end up with a product that each time you're putting it, you go, well, I'm really proud to actually have my name attached to that.
That's awesome.
One thing I just wanted to ask you, this is more along the lines of promotion and marketing, is you're a new company, new product. Mm-hmm. How are you marketing your product at the moment? Is it purely word of mouth, or are you using social media? Are you using audiograms to promote Headliner? What's your marketing avenue?
So I guess the way I think about marketing is very old school, I guess, in some ways. I started out in the early 2000s. I played bass and managed a rock band. I was in and managed a rock band in New York City. But so I like the idea of kind of connecting with fans and creating a fan base and making something that people really love. Like I've kind of always taken that mindset to marketing in tech too. So This is actually our team's second startup. Our last one was a company called nRelate that did under article content recommendations. We wrote about 100,000 blogs. It's actually a little over 100,000 blogs and publisher websites recommending content between the sites and on the sites and all that. And so we had a huge fan base there too. And so with Headliner, in terms of marketing, like the main things I like to do is just get out and try to connect with people one-on-one as much as possible, especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
And so we do this through just like everything from just shooting emails to people that look like they'd like to use it, to going to conferences and meetups and events and trying to like figure out like, okay, like what, trying to just meet as many. I mean, for the last year, my life has been about meeting as many podcasters as I possibly can and figuring out what they want and what they like and what the real problems they're facing are. And the main problem I think that most podcasters face is really, it comes down to time. Like it's hard to produce your own show. It's a lot of work. People think it's just magic. Like you just turn on the mic and you go, but that's not true. There's all the pre-work, there's the equipment stuff, there's the post work. And then once you've got all that work done, then you have to go promote the thing, and I think a lot of people that are making their podcasts would like to spend more time on promotion, but don't have the time. So that's kind of where Headliner, I think, comes in. At least that's our little sliver of helping people promote, is that, you don't need to spend a ton of time to create a nice looking video to promote your podcast. So in terms of like marketing, it's just the old school stuff. I mean, we'll even send, we sent you a mug, right? So we'll mail things.
Yeah, I love my mug.
Yeah.
I've got this massive, you can put about 4 coffees in this mug. It's huge.
It's a big one, yeah.
And you sent this all the way from Brooklyn, New York, which is where you're based. And I was really impressed when it turned out. I remember when you said something about sending me a mug, and I went, oh, yeah, I'm all the way in Australia. And went, nah, not a problem. We'll send it to you anyway.
Yeah, but so in terms of like it sounds crazy, like it's not sustainable. We can't send a mug to everyone across the world, but like if the people that like us are in Australia, yeah, we'll send stickers and mugs and stuff and letters and all that stuff to Australia. Why not?
Yeah, I like what you said though. It's old school. It's just getting out there and meeting people and talking to people and networking.
Yeah, and the other thing I always think is like, like you could spend a lot of money on advertising, and you could do all these different like what they call like growth hacks and all that stuff. But like at the end of the day, the best way you can get new customers and new users is through your current customers and users. And I always kind of feel like if people that are using something you've created aren't sharing it and it isn't getting word of mouth, then the product probably needs some more work anyways. So
yeah,
I think like we'll probably get more sophisticated about how we market, as we grow. But in the beginning stages, it's just all about like talking to as many people as you can. And especially when people tell you the things they don't like about the product, or they don't like about how you're pitching it to them. Those are the most valuable things you can learn, because that's what you use to kind of hone how you pitch it and how you market it, and also hone the product itself. So whenever anyone kind of like is like rude on social media or just sends me a nasty email, like I'm like, oh, this is gonna be the person that like is our biggest fan in 3 or 4 months, because I'm gonna listen to them, and if what they want is in line with what other people want, yeah, we're gonna make those changes, and they're gonna really respect the fact that, wow, a company actually cares enough to do the things that we need as podcasters or as bloggers or as marketers. So,
or as small business owners, if they're using the program, is you got problems, tell them what problems you're having and get them to fix it.
Yeah, exactly. And so even similar, like now I'm getting a lot of teachers from the education sector writing me being like, hey, there's like certain things around using it in the classroom. Can you do this? Can you do that? And we're taking a list of all that, and we're slating the work for probably early next year. And it's just like, that's kind of, I think, how you build a product that people love. And, it's not rocket science. I think there's a lot of different ways to approach marketing, and it really just comes down to, I don't think anything's easy. I think half the game is just showing up for work every day and grinding it out, Yeah,
no, that makes perfect sense. I've got one last question for you. This is the last question I normally ask everybody. It's my Monday morning tip. It's Monday morning. You're sitting at McDonald's having a burger, as you do on a Monday morning. And don't know why I said that. And someone sits next to you and they said, I was listening to this podcast you were on there. You were talking about audiograms and Headliner. I'm about to walk into work. What's the number one tip you would give me for work today when I walk in?
The number one tip on Monday morning.
And it doesn't have to be about using Headliner. It's just what's the one business tip you give someone on a Monday morning if they just needed something just to get them going?
I mean, the biggest thing I've been thinking about a lot lately is just reminding yourself that you define your own, and you kind of touch on this stuff in your book too, a bit, but other people don't define success for you, and you define success. And success doesn't need to be, it can be lots of money, and that's a great thing, but success can also be a feeling. It can be being happy about your job. So just kind of remembering, and I try to remember, all the time, just that being successful is it's kind of an ideal and something you strive for, but it doesn't necessarily have to be what other people tell you it is.
No, I think that's good. That's good advice. So, Oliver, I want to thank you for being on It's No Secret with Dr. T. And I just want to let people know, if they want to find out more about it, go to headliner.app. And you can also go onto Facebook. Just look for Headliner by Spearman. And Spearman, is that the company behind Headliner?
Yeah, technically, I think on Facebook, that's what it still is. We're going to adjust that to Headliner Video. It's not even worth talking about, but Facebook wouldn't let us do it because there's some weird reason, but they're going to let us do it.
Yeah, no, that's right. And I did see, or you can search it for @Headliner Video on Facebook as well. So
yeah.
And if people want to connect with you, they can just find you on LinkedIn, Oliver Wellington.
Yep, they can find me on LinkedIn or shoot me an email, oliver@headliner.app. And yeah.
No, that's fantastic.
If anyone, I guess I'll plug one other thing since we're doing the marketplace.
Plug away. Plug.
Yeah, just one quick plug. If people want to try out having an audiogram created by us for them, you can go to headliner.app/marketplace, and you can get that done for $1. $1, less than a Starbucks coffee.
And
maybe less than. Yeah, it's like half. It's like a quarter. It's a quarter of a coffee these days.
Okay, Oliver, thank you so much for being on It's No Secret with Dr. T. This has been great.
Great.
And thanks. I think that's a wrap. Well, I hope you enjoyed listening to Oliver Wellington today from Headliner. And check out Marketplace. If you're not sure how to do an audiogram, if you've got some audio and you've got a picture, just flick it through to them at headliner.app/marketplace and give them a shot. Let them put it together for you. Or get on there and try doing it yourself. However, after saying all that, if you have problems actually recording your own audio, just let me know. Just send me an email, tf@tysonfranklin.com, and just say, hey, I'm not quite sure how I should be recording audio, and I'll send you an email back and I'll give you a couple of options on what you can do. So my guest next week is Dr. Howard Cohn from California. His background is chiropractic, and we're going to be talking about health in general, but also nutrition and the things that entrepreneurs do and that they don't when it comes to nutrition, and why they should probably be making a few more changes if they want to get more energy and more out of life. Here's a little snippet of what's coming up next week.
The reality is that if you had a head of raw broccoli in your right hand and a piece of cheesecake in your left, chances are the cheesecake is usually the one that gets eaten. And we all know, though, which hand is holding the health food. It doesn't mean we're going to do it, so the goal is really, to find a way to have simple strategies to make it simple and easy for you to do the right thing. And most people they're just not going to do it. And I've watched people take it to their grave because they say, I can't eat like this. And, we had talked about it before, but more people spend more money in their last 2 weeks of life on trying to stay alive than they will in their whole life.
This is one episode you will want to tune into, because the best thing about Dr. Howard Cohn is not one of those doctors that says, oh, you can't have a beer, or no, you can't have a rum and coke. He really just talks about everything practically, that it's all in moderation. So before I go, just want to point out a couple of other things. If you enjoy this podcast, please tell other people about it. And if you want to give us a review, 5-star review, that would be absolutely awesome. So one more thing. I've got 3 friends that have podcasts, and I know if you like this show, you're probably going to like theirs. One is called Unstructured with Eric Hunley. One is The Savvy Dentist with Dr. Jesse Green. And my good friend Dave Freeze and his show In Top Form. Okay, that's it from me. Look after yourself, look after your family, and I will talk to you again next week. Bye for now.